George practically lived in his tiny apartment, his laptop his only companion. He was coding his dream into reality, fueled by instant noodles and an unshakable belief. His startup, Innovatech, was more than just a company, it was his lifeblood. He poured every waking moment into it, neglecting sleep, relationships, even his own well-being. The early days were brutal. Rejection from investors was constant. Technical glitches seemed insurmountable. But George persevered, driven by a fire that burned brighter with each obstacle. He knew he was onto something special. He could feel it in his gut. He recruited a small team of equally passionate individuals, each one as hungry and driven as he was. Together, fueled by caffeine and a shared dream, they toiled away, building Innovatech brick by digital brick. Word spread like wildfire. Innovatech's innovative software solution was disrupting the industry. Investors, initially hesitant, were now clamoring at their door. Funding poured in, allowing George to expand his team and scale his operations. Innovatech was featured in prominent tech magazines. Awards followed. George, the once sleep-deprived programmer, was now a celebrated entrepreneur, gracing magazine covers and speaking at prestigious conferences. He had achieved what most only dreamt of, building a successful tech company from the ground up. But his journey was far from over. The pressure was immense. Maintaining this upward trajectory required relentless effort. George barely had time to savor the success. He was on a treadmill, running faster and faster just to stay ahead. Enter Emily, George's younger sister. Fresh out of Harvard Business School, armed with an MBA and boundless ambition, she returned to their hometown. Emily had always been the golden child, effortlessly charming and academically gifted. George, still wrestling with the demands of running Innovatech, barely had time for his family, let alone his sister. But Emily was persistent. She saw an opportunity in Innovatech, a chance to make her mark on the world. She began spending more time at the office, shadowing employees, immersing herself in the company culture. George, initially hesitant, found himself drawn to Emily's enthusiasm and sharp business acumen. Maybe having her on board wouldn't be so bad after all. He just hoped it wouldn't backfire. The tension was palpable. Emily, with her Harvard MBA and fresh perspective, began challenging George's decisions. She questioned his strategies, his leadership style, even his vision for the future of Innovatech. George, used to being the unquestioned leader, found himself on the defensive. He had poured his heart and soul into building this company. He knew what was best for Innovatech, or did he? Emily's arguments were compelling. Her data-driven approach a stark contrast to George's more intuitive style. The team was divided. Some sided with George's experience and vision, while others were drawn to Emily's fresh ideas and bold strategies. The once cohesive work environment was now rife with tension, the air thick with unspoken resentment. Their parents, concerned about the growing rift between their children, decided to intervene. They saw the company, their children's legacy, teetering on the brink. A difficult decision was made. Emily, with her impressive credentials and modern business sense, was deemed the better choice to lead Innovatech into the future. The news hit George like a ton of bricks. Betrayal, anger, and a deep sense of injustice washed over him. He had sacrificed everything for this company, and now it was being handed over to his sister, someone who had only just arrived. George retreated from the world he had built. The sting of betrayal was still fresh, the wound to his pride still raw, but amidst the anger and resentment, a new feeling began to surface. Determination. He would not be defined by this setback. He would rise again, stronger and wiser. He spent his days in solitude, reflecting on his mistakes, analyzing the tech landscape and formulating a plan. He wouldn't just build another company, he would build something extraordinary, something that would make Innovatech look like a footnote in tech history. This time, he would do things differently. This time, he would be in control. Unbeknownst to Emily and their parents, George had initiated a secret project, Project Phoenix. He discreetly reached out to his most trusted colleagues from Innovatech, individuals who shared his vision and understood his dedication. One by one, they joined him. their loyalty to George outweighing their fear of the unknown. With his core team assembled, George began transferring funds, diverting resources and siphoning off key technologies from Innovatech. He knew it was risky, bordering on unethical, but the thirst for redemption outweighed any moral qualms. He was playing a high-stakes game, and failure was not an option. George walked into Emily's office, his resignation letter in hand. He could see the surprise in her eyes, a flicker of uncertainty behind her confident facade. He didn't say much, just handed her the letter and walked away, leaving behind the company he had poured his life into. The news of George's departure sent shockwaves through Innovatech. Rumors swirled, speculation ran rampant. Emily, now at the helm, struggled to maintain order. The company, once a well-oiled machine, began to sputter. George's absence left a void, a leadership vacuum that Emily, despite her best efforts, struggled to fill. Meanwhile, George, free from the shackles of his past, was just getting started. He gathered his team, unveiled Project Phoenix, and set about building his new venture. This time there would be no distractions, no interference. This time it was personal. The tech world watched with bated breath as George's new company, Phoenix Innovations, exploded onto the scene. Their product, a revolutionary advancement in artificial intelligence, took the market by storm, overshadowing Innovatech's offerings. George was back, and this time he was unstoppable. Back at Innovatech, the situation was grim. Emily's leadership, once lauded for its fresh approach, was now criticized for lacking direction and vision. The company, once a shining star, was losing ground rapidly, its stock price plummeting. The weight of her brother's legacy, coupled with the pressure of leading a company in crisis, proved to be more than she could handle. George's triumph was not about revenge. It was about resilience. It was about the unyielding belief in one's ability to rise above adversity, to turn betrayal into triumph. He had stared into the abyss of failure and emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. His story serves as a reminder that setbacks are inevitable, but they do not define us. It is how we respond to them, how we harness the pain and transform it into fuel for our journey that truly matters. George's epic comeback is a testament to the indomitable spirit that resides within us all, waiting to be ignited.